Welcome to LPT Success Secrets. Hi, I'm Diana, an LPT agent. And in this video training and news, I will be sharing with you a small snippet from the full episode. All of the full episodes are available at LPT Connect. If you would like your team to be powered by LPT Brokerage, or you're an individual agent, I'd love to hop on a quick 15-minute call with you to see if LPT Realty is a good fit for you. All right, let's move on to the training.
Run rate is just not a great place for our industry. We have too much capacity. There's a lot of agents. We should be serving about 5.5 million households a year. And during COVID, that obviously shot up into the over 6 million range, which it was only constrained by lack of inventory. If there'd been enough houses to sell, we probably could have sold 10 million houses a year during COVID. And so where we sit today, it is just, we have a lot of capacity as an industry. We have, I think, the right capacity for a normal market, but that capacity feels very too much, right? There's too many agents fighting over too few deals when we are at sub 4 million home sales. And so we think that's going to go back up. The kind of law of the way markets move, we're going to see this return to the mean. So every year that we have of these sub 4 million home sales, we think there is going to be a big year. There's going to be a 6 million year. There's going to be a 5.5 million year. We just got to get there, and these rates are going to be a big trigger there. So keep an eye on that, but rates are in a good place, much better than where we were, earlier in the year, and people are coming out. So be ready. Again, all that hard work you guys have been doing, putting out your 9 critical questions and your active marketing plans and your 7 home buyer strategies and emptying the box and all of that hard work that we know you've been doing along the way, you're going to start to see those dividends finally pay off as we do see buyers return to the market and we see more sellers willing to list their home because that rate gap, that rate lock-in doesn't feel as big.
Yeah, that's right. And I think that pretty much what you're saying is that we're on the edge of this change, right? We've got the hurdle coming up of the BBA, which is we're going to be talking about on the second half of MM here. But you've got this interest rate variable that continues to play around with another piece that we're not used to. We saw a little bit of a better interest rate over the course of the last week or so, but again, that's still fluctuating. But the point is that creates opportunities, right? It creates opportunities for you to go out there and educate your consumers or your buyers that you're working with on what's happening. It could potentially get some people off the sidelines and say, hey, let's act quick. Why? We don't know how long this is going to hold. Let's start to put things in motion. And we saw buyer activity pick up. But at the same time, we now have this upcoming hurdle of 817 where, conversations are going to have to restart again. And we did a poll on Real Estate First Friday. It was a couple hundred agents on there. And we asked how many agents are currently working with the buyer as defined by the new language, means that you're touring with them and have an IDX feed active, that do not have a BBA signed. And 55% of those agents on that call did not have a BBA signed that were currently working. So that's a conversation that needs to happen between now and then, right? Or it's going to be a pretty jarring, click over. And so we're going to talk through a lot of the strategies here for the second half of MM and what the 2-week marathon is. But again, it's just all of this information compounding can be very confusing. And so, there's a lot of noise out there in the marketplace right now, from interest rates to just all kinds of things. And you have to stay focused on this hurdle, because there's going to be a lot of people who stub their toe on this, or who lose market share, or who don't do well, or who are not clear on the best ways to move forward. And that requires a tremendous amount of focus, because this is a big change for the industry. So I'm, pleading to you to stay focused on this, look at the tax that's coming. And of course, the North Star is always the consumer. How are we benefiting them? And that at the end of the day, proves our value. So
yeah, I think that's a big, we're going to go over the strategy here we took around kind of this BBA 2-week marathon, but a big part of it is assisting with that focus. Having 5 classes a day, having it on this rhythm where hey, every day, at 9, 11, 4, 7, and 10 p.m., I can jump on and get some kind of training or feedback or conversation with LPT around these topics for the next 2 weeks, including Saturday and Sunday. That's a big commitment from us, but it's about that focus, because we are seeing a lot of people lose focus right now. Again, a lot of people, the spring and summer seasons were not as good as they should have been. We came into this year, and based on where March was tracking, the industry should have had a much better kind of buying season, and we didn't see it. We fell back down. Existing home sales fell. ultimately that means there are fewer people earning checks, right? And we're a commission-only business. And, I tell this story a lot. I remember my mom, when I was growing up, she was in mortgage and real estate, kind of bounced between the two. And I remember there were months when it felt like we were rich. And I remember getting like a brand new like Tommy Hilfiger shirt. Like that was the thing back in the day, in the mid 90s. Yeah. And then I remember 2 months later, I'd be in the floorboard of the car with her counting change so that we could pay our electric bill because our electricity just got cut off. And there really is this roller coaster. And that roller coaster gets worse when the months when we're supposed to make that money to feed our family in this industry are constrained by interest rates. So there are a lot of people right now that are maybe having to count that change on the floorboard the way I did as a kid to pay their electric bill in our industry. And it makes it even that much harder to stay focused, right? A lot of people are maybe starting to give up. They're starting to look for, what can I do differently? This isn't working for me. And we want to be here as a beacon to help get through that. And so I think we do have this kind of dangerous situation almost where we have that happening, right? We have a situation where normally this is a time of year when agents would pick up those extra couple of deals to put some money away, savings for lean times. This would be the month mom would be buying me the Tommy Hilfiger, and instead it's the month that we're all having to count change to pay our electric bill. And so that combined now with these massive changes, right? Now, on top of that, we have to adopt new forms, we have to adopt new strategies, we have to adopt new tactics, and there's so much noise, right? There's noise about how's that going to work? Why I'm not going to pay buyer's agents. I'm going to pay buyer's agents. Buyer's agents are going to go away. No one's going to, all of this noise on social media, all of this noise out in the world, people trying to figure out how to make it work in their life. And I guess what I will plead to all of you is stay focused with us. The reason we are doing this marathon that we're going to get into here, the reason we are taking this so seriously, the reason we are overwhelming you with opportunities to plug in with us, including with me personally, with the entire executive team, amazing. We got 15 people that are going to be teaching these classes across the next 2 weeks. We want you to have those opportunities to plug in so that if you start to lose focus, or if you start to feel overwhelmed, or if you start to feel like maybe you're not getting it done, or you don't know where you should be going right now, or you don't know how you should be talking to people, within a few hours, every day for the next 2 weeks, you'll be able to jump on a Zoom and refocus with us. And that was really the strategy behind how we built this BBA. And when we say BBA, we're talking about the entire structure, right? BBA is in buyer broker agreement, but it's the listing side, it's the buyer side, it's literally everything about it. And so the blitz that we're going to talk about is the national level, but then we also have the amazing state level classes, right? Like if you need that, like, hey, I need to know exactly how to fill out my form, we have those state level classes. They've been being taught for the last couple of months. They will continue, multiple classes every week. What our BBA Marathon is about is much more about the mindset, the high level, the plug back in, the get recommitted, the get focused, the understand we are all in this together and we are going to win together, and feel that community that you need at a time like this. And so I'm really excited. But again, guys, that stay focused. Again, there's so much noise out there right now. So many people are hurting. So many people are frustrated. So many people thought this industry was going to deliver something maybe to them that it didn't, because of these low home sales numbers. And we're here to help you get through the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, awesome. Well, let's jump into it. Do we want to do a poll to see how many people? Is that helpful, useful?
If you have a poll ready, let's run it. Yeah,
let's do it. Okay,
right.
So
we've
got a poll.
What is the poll?
The poll is just going to say how many people are currently working with a buyer that don't have a BBA signed.
Let's do it.
I just want to get a quick gauge. We got a few thousand people on here, so if you could just give that a shot. How many people are working with a buyer and do not have a BBA signed? All right, we've got about 700 people voted. Let's give it just another 10 seconds or so, and we will close the poll.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, we're going to go ahead and close it now. All right, let's share the results. Okay, so 43%, I don't know if you can see it's not on the screen yet.
Yeah, I got it.
43% of the people are working with a buyer who do not have a BBA signed. And there's a few thousand people on this call. So, if we want to pick a starting point, that's probably the first conversations that need to happen this week. But let's go ahead and jump into the BBA. We're going to talk about how the BBA Marathon, we're going to talk about how we address that.
Let's go slides, Dave. Let's jump into it. All right, so this is the LPT BBA Marathon. And again, when we say BBA, we're talking all the NAR settlement changes. BBA just sounds so much cooler than NAR settlement. But again, listing side, buyer side, mindset, strategy, marketing, everything about it. 2 weeks of training, all hosted on Zoom, 50 live sessions, 5 classes each day over that 2 weeks, including the weekend in the middle. We're kicking it off today. This is our...
Well, friends, what did you think about this news? Comment below. And if you have not downloaded the LPT Guidebook, what are you waiting for? Comment the word guide and I'll send you the link. I hope to hear from you soon. And in the meanwhile, check out this video.